Welcome to another episode of the Sun Foundation's virtual clean water celebration, Clean Water Champions. Let me ask a simple question. When you see a piece of trash, do you think somebody ought to pick that up? You could be somebody. But more than just picking up a piece of trash here and there, what can we learn in this trash collection? How can we use that data to change legislation? Marcus Erickson from 5 Gyres has inspired students at Pontiac High School to do a trash blitz. Listen close and you could do one too.
This is Pontiac, Illinois. It is a small town located in central Illinois. It contains one river called the Vermilion, and it is known for its several museums and its association with Route 66. It also houses the Livingston County landfill, located just a few miles outside of town. Because it is such a small town, it only has one high school, and it is in this place that a couple of high school girls thought of a way to help their community. But before we jump ahead, let us introduce ourselves.
Hello, my name is Ariel Nichols. I am a senior at Pontiac Township High School.
Hi everyone, I'm Maddie. I'm a senior at Pontiac Township High School, and this is Trash Blitz. A little bit about me. I'm involved in quite a lot of things at school. I'm in guard, band, choir, Scholastic Bowl, Peers in Action, student council, science club, a lot of things.
My hobbies include camping, motorcycle riding, and exploring the great outdoors. I like pasta, hanging out with friends, and cooking, and I dislike fish.
I understand that Ariel, Tatum, and I are very different people. We're quite a diverse group. We have different skill sets, but when we bring those skill sets and combine them, I think we bring a lot to the table. We had known each other from guard, and we decided to start working together in Mr. Ritter's environmental earth science class.
My fondest memory of science has to be when we were first introduced to our totals. It's definitely something that I didn't expect coming into the class, and I'm glad that we do have our totals now.
My first official memory from environmental earth science class would have to be the first day of school when Mr. Ritter threw an Operation Endangered Species shirt at us. And, he looked at every single one of us in that class and he said, "We are going to change the world." And I was like, "Mr. Ritter, I don't know how to change the world. I don't even know how to apply into college yet."
So none of us really understood what Mr. Ritter was talking about until he introduced us to our mycelia projects.
Mr. Ritter introduced us to mycelia projects, which are projects that you pick in August and you have to work on for the rest of the year. And, most of these projects are projects that last year's groups either started or worked on, and we pick up the torch from them and we continue what they started.
In the beginning, we didn't even know what our project was going to be. That was until a Zoom meeting with Marcus Erickson.
More resilient as your community. How that pertains to this issue is your community dialing in how materials flow through your culture. How waste is managed, how you capture materials. So we have a program called Trash Blitz.
When the idea of Trash Blitz got brought up, I got very excited. There was a little light bulb above my head that went ding. And, I told Ariel and Tatum, we can use this. I think we can do this. This is a project based around statistics and data, and it's harder to push away numbers than it is to, push away an opinion.
So Marcus explained how the app functions, as well as how a community can lead a cleanup of their own.
It's about city by city, small town by small town. It's an app where you can document the trash on the ground, roadsides and parks, on beaches, riverbanks. You document it, You get like hundreds of data points in your area, a good representative sample set, do some good statistics on data gathering. Then you present that data in terms of like, what are the top 10 items? And what's the count? What's the distribution? By council district, by city. Then you go to your city council and you say, look, we consistently find these single-use plastics. Maybe it's cigarette butts, plastic bags in the trees. We consistently find these kinds of pollutants, these waste materials in our community. And we know it costs the city a lot of money to go out and pick up trash on the side of the road or pull bags out of trees off of fences, or there's some flooding from plastic bags blocking storm drains. And you as a taxpayer, you're tired of paying city taxes to manage these poorly designed products when there are alternatives out there. So Trash Blitz gives you the data, and it can be student-led, citizen science-led. To get data, go to your city council, say, we want change, we want to get these products out of here, here's the alternatives. That's working across the country.
After a Zoom meeting with Marcus Erickson, Ariel Tatum and I decided that Trash Blitz would be a great project to work on because it was community-based, it was something that we could organize, and it was COVID-friendly. Before we knew it, Mr. Ritter had gotten in contact with the coordinators of Trash Blitz and had already set up meetings to preface us on the workings of the app.
Students are the ones who are driving our community. So they have to get whatever they want to do, they have to set it up, they have to do it. So those statements that I gave you when I said, listen, you just need to talk to them, not me, because I'm not in charge. So
I get it.
I'm not in charge of my classroom at all. They just do it.
That is the best way to be. That is the best way for the students to be the ones teaching and learning.
It makes me look smart, even though I'm not as smart as it is. So,
Which then we got in contact with Allison, who helped us set up a randomized cleanup in our own town.
The first step is to create a random sampling plan. And the app itself, essentially, you're creating a geographic region. And I'm just doing this just for show. Obviously, you'd probably spend a lot more time. And then we will download the random points plan. So we'll have a random survey of all of the different geographic locations and coordinates. We take this, and what we'll do, and I can support this, or your students can do this, is, and I have a paid subscription for a reverse geocoder. And so right now, basically what we would do is we would reverse geocode these in like latlong.net or a similar platform. I like latlong.net. So then you would either, depending how many students you have or groups, you would then go ahead and kind of like assign each of these different locations to another group.
The next big step for our group was getting people to volunteer and help us with our cleanup. We had this done by sending out a form to the entire school in which students could mark whether or not they were interested in helping us and fill their email address up above. Throughout the months of January and February, Allison had been helping us with the preparations of our cleanup date, which is now set to start on March 13th. We began discussing what would happen after our cleanup and after the data had been processed. At first, we thought that we would use the data to draft solutions and present it to our city council. But Allison presented us with a campaign that 5 Guyers had been working with called Skip the Stuff, and we became interested.
With 5 Gyres, just a little bit of background for you guys, Ariel and Maddie. We do a lot of policy work at the regional, local, national, and international levels. Right now, one of the most popular, when there's a lot of campaigns that are happening nationally, which is going to be launching, called Skip the Stuff, which is basically an opt-in for all foodware accessories. So it's essentially creating model ordinances around the country that will effectively on, you know, all third-party delivery apps and any sort of takeout. Consumers would have to opt in for, you know, your single-use kind of like plastic packets of utensils, ketchup packets, and, you know, this is something that we're kind of looking at potentially tying in with some of our different like local trash blitz activations, if folks don't already necessarily have a policy that they're looking to push, or if they're not already specifically like, you know, like for example, in Denver, we had a coalition of maybe 20 different groups who came together, and they're going to be pushing specifically, I think, more of like a bag ban in their area. So this is a little bit different, but if you're interested, there is already a whole national campaign with toolkits happening, so that way you'd be able to kind of like implement something regionally, locally, and really have all of the tools and support from the national reuse network. So that's something I kind of just wanted to throw in your court, just to kind of consider as one potential avenue where you would already sort of have the framework for a campaign already set up, where you wouldn't have to do a lot of that legwork.
As of right now, our project is still in the works, but I'm excited to see what the near future holds for us. I can't believe that this all started in a small classroom in the middle of Pontiac, and it has bloomed into what it has become now. I definitely had times in the past in which I thought we were not going to be able to pull this off, especially in a pandemic where everything seemed to be shutting down. But I think that success will come to us in the near future. At least that's what I hope. And if anything else, I hope that we inspire others to take action in their own community, whether it would be environmentally or scientifically. I think that any small movement is movement for us all, and inspiration should be the catalyst. I'll be ending the video with a few words from Marcus Erickson, just to bring us full circle, because of course that is what started it all.
This call, I look forward to seeing what you come up with, what you create. And what I've learned now in my 53 years of life is that nothing happens by an individual alone, nothing at all. It's all about collaboration. It's about building a community, building teams of people, and find joy in that. You know, trading ego for we go, what we do together. And that's where I have found the greatest strength, the greatest power, and the greatest joy in life is when we do things together toward a common goal. So thank you for inviting me to your classroom. I really want to see what you come up with, and please stay in touch. This has been such a pleasure. Thank you.
Wow. I feel inspired to, whenever I go for a walk, to bring a bag with me and pick up a few pieces. But take that 3 steps further. Do a little assessment. What are you finding more of? What is the source of this trash? How can we change the way people think about these materials so we don't have to pick it up? It doesn't end up in our waterways. It doesn't end up as plastic pollution in the ocean. You could do a trash blitz for your community, and you could be a clean water champion.